how frequent have you changed jobs in the last 1, 2, or 3 years? I understand there's a high rate of changing jobs among millennials. We have been touted to be the restless generation, which can hardly hold a job for an year. So today I'm having that conversation on Voice It. That is the topic we are discussing. And with me to help delve on this conversation is one Dr. Eliud Situma. So please, this is a conversation you do not want to miss. Stay tuned. Join us. Dr. Eliud Situma, welcome to my set. I am so happy to host you. I mean, guys, this is the first time we are hosting a doctor on Voice It. Yay! So, welcome on set. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Winnie. It's a pleasure coming to this show. My name, as you already mentioned, I'm Dr. Eliud Situma, a communication and knowledge management consultant. And I think the most interesting thing about today is that we are going to talk about a topic that I personally am affected. I guess the people watching, you already know what a millennial is. These are the people who were born between 1980 to 1996 there. And I guess both of us are in that category.
Yes,
or you were born before, after 1996?
No,
okay,
not really.
fine.
I'm a millennial.
Okay,
yeah.
fine. So I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm so happy to host you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you.
All right. So there's a research that you did regarding how millennials change jobs more frequently, and it's also a conversation that is out there. Like, people say we are fluid in the marketplace, we don't hold down jobs. And so tell us a bit more about this particular research.
After some time, I just looked at the way personally I've been changing jobs. And I went ahead to look at the statistics globally before I even started my research. And looking at the statistics globally, they say it's documented actually. There are around 1.8 billion. We have almost 1.8 billion of you, the millennials to be specific. And the economy is depending on these people because, you know, our youth, the millennials are the most energetic guys,
yes.
The people who can really make the economy to grow. However, there's this trend that you employ somebody today and tomorrow is thinking about, oh my, should I leave and go somewhere else? So when I carried out this research, there was a bit of very interesting feedback I got. And one of the things that was standing out in my research, that it is very true, that between the age of 24 to 35, you find that by the time somebody gets to 35, he has changed his or her job almost 5 times. So that implies that the rate of turnover is so high between that period. So the question was, what are the factors behind the change of jobs every now and then?
So what did you find? What were the triggers? Is it money? Because they say we want money, we want instant gratification.
Yes, there are so many triggers. Number one, which is a very obvious one, that first in Kenya, these are developing nation. It's things are fast-paced. Things are moving so fast. So these people, the youth specifically, they don't want to get into a job where they feel they are stagnated. So they are against status quo. Like, you finish your school, you want to achieve as fast as possible. You want to own a car tomorrow, you want to build your own house because it's a fast-moving world. So the first thing that actually came out clearly is because people, they don't get the fulfillment in the various places of work. So they feel, if this place where I'm working is going to make me stagnate, then this is not my place to be. So just fighting status quo is one of the reasons that really came out strongly, that they feel, no way, we need to keep changing. Then remember, when we talk about somebody being employed, it's not the organization per se, or rather the organization are the people, the managers, the top managers who are there. Because once you finish school, you don't expect yourself just to go to the top management. You have to start from somewhere. The problem that most millennials were alluding to is they get into an organization today, they find those guys who've been there for quite some time.
Yeah, the old guys.
The old guards.
Yeah.
And, you know, these old guards, I think they suffer, should I call it inferiority complex? Okay. Because these ones, they come out of school so energetic, technically advantaged. Like, you know, most of the jobs now, they require people who are well versed in the technology. Yeah. So when they get there, they feel frustrated because they're not given room to bring out their energy. Because of these old guys who keep saying, you know, what are you going to teach us? What are you going to tell us? We've been here for 7 years. Yeah. So you have to hold your horses fast. We show you how to work. But, you know, they look at these old guys and say, oh, my goodness, I don't think they really understand. Yeah. There's a better way of really executing this job. You know, a millennial wants to do this job within 2 hours, it's done. Huh? Yeah. But for them, I think they borrow so much from this classical school of management that we call a bureaucratic school of management, whereby things have to go through the hierarchy.
Exactly.
So that really kills. It kills. It has really. Creativity. Yes. It kills the creativity among the millennials. So they feel, okay, I don't think we want to stay there. Let me look for somewhere where I'll be given enough space, to bring out the creative aspect in me. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons. And
in real sense, that if you look at that, that's on the positive side. Yes. And I think it's something that employers should also look at, because if this population comprises the high percentage of the human resource that we are looking at, then I think it's something that people should actually look into and ensure that maybe they create the right environment and spaces for the youths to thrive.
Yeah, for sure. You see, one of my background, I've done strategic management. And one of the pillars for a successful organization, apart from having a clear strategy, there should be a very good reward system, which is really lacking among the organization. So when the millennials get into an organization where the reward system is not as clear, they tend to feel so frustrated. They feel, oh my goodness, these people, they don't realize our ability. The employer doesn't realize my ability. There's no motivation. Instead of being motivated to, you know, once you create something, you're motivated to say, okay, you can do more. Those who are the top management or mid-level management, the old guys, they want to frustrate you. They tell you, and I'll give you one example. I was in an organization previously when I was employed, whereby you find people going out for trips, workshops, etc. You as a new graduate, you've just joined the organization. So there's no single day you are given an opportunity to go out for these workshops. And you know when there's a workshop, there's a per diem that comes along with it.
Exactly.
So you feel so frustrated. How come I'm never considered even to go for a single workshop?
Even the experience to network with people out there.
And the human resource department specifically, they forget that just allowing these millennials to attend workshops, to attend trainings, is part of pillars of a reward system and organization. So lack of a clear reward system actually has made the millennials to keep changing their jobs every now and then. They're looking for an employer who can perfectly say reward them. Not rewarding in terms of money, but just giving them an opportunity to train more, an opportunity to go and learn on the laws that govern an organization, an opportunity to know, just to learn something about the digital world. So when I was doing my research, those are some of the things that were coming out. And in addition, there are these very basic ones. I mentioned that the millennials, this is they're part of the digital society. If they get into an organization and there's no even Wi-Fi, those are very basic things.
Wi-Fi is life, you know?
So you get there in this organization and your boss is telling you there's no access, you can't access Wi-Fi. Trust me, you're going to lose out. You're going to lose out on these very creative, innovative youth who have joined your organization. So we should not look for those very big reward systems in place.
The basic things.
Basic things like Wi-Fi, just put it in place, you know. And these people, they want to keep in touch, you know, they can multitask.
And socialization has become like one of the, they say we have 3 basic rights. I think with us we have 4, and internet is one of them, the 4th one.
I previously mentioned about schools of management, and I alluded to the fact that the old guys, they subscribe much on the classical school of management. And this classical school of management, it advocates for the hierarchy, bureaucratic style, whereby you have to follow this. But there is the modern school of thought in management, which I'll encourage most employers, if they really want to keep the millennials on job, that is called the behavioral school of thought. In this, there's a famous guy called Maslow, hierarchy of needs, whereby as an employer, I look at, are you able to satisfy the basic needs to these millennials? And basic needs start from food, wherever. These millennials, when they come to your organization, they want to see, are you able to satisfy, through even the pay, to satisfy their basic need? Can they go back home and buy food and etc.? If your organization is not able to do that, it is actually contributing to the movement. And I refer you to, and this is something that most youth are supposed to be aware, that even as you get employed, do we have what we call a minimum wage? You know, a minimum wage. I refer you to, is it the Labor Institute Act? According to this act, if you read section 43, 1 and 2, through a delegated legislation, the Minister of Labor, he has that responsibility of deciding the minimum wage. So the reason why also the millennials are moving is because we look at what is the minimum wage? Can it really afford me the luxury as a youth? So because there are other opportunities online, it feels, no way, I can't stay here 8 to 5, and the minimum wage cannot actually support my needs. So despite the fact that other researchers have been saying, oh, it's a negative trend, you know, the millennials are moving, but according to me, now from where I stand, it's because most of them are now empowered. And they know they have target, they have a clear vision, that immediately I clear school, this is what I want to achieve. To achieve this, which action am I taking? Am I going to stay with this employer who doesn't give me room, who is not flexible to allow me to go for evening classes, for example? An employer wants to keep me from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And there's no part-time payment. You know, there's nothing to really motivate me to get an extra coin. So because of that vision, they want a flexible employer. An employer will understand that, okay, he came to work at 7, let me allow him at 4, go attend a part-time class, go for this training, so that I'm trying to help him to
become better.
That is the word. Become better and grow up in his career. But in the event that that doesn't happen, now this millennial comes back at home in the evening and asks, oh my goodness, am I really going to achieve my vision? If I'm targeting to own my own plot in Nairobi, for example, by the age of 28, and the minimum wage, whatever I'm getting from my employer is around 30,000, you know, it doesn't make sense. Yet there are other opportunities that are coming on his way. So by the mere fact that he has gone to school well, he has the skills, and most importantly, I want to emphasize on this, most important, he's empowered. He feels, no way, I'll only settle where there's flexibility. I'll only settle where I feel I'm utilizing my energy well.
And that makes sense, because yesterday I was watching a certain YouTube channel of this, I can't remember his name, but he's an American guy who travels across different cities in Africa and documents them. So it was in Nairobi the other day, and one of the Uber drivers that he used was a guy who is actually an accountant. He actually asked him, so how long have you been in the Uber business? And the guy said, quite for a short time, about 1 year, but I do it part-time, full-time, I'm an accountant. Then you were like, if I look at the accountants in our organizations, those are the people like who have strictly 9 to 5 job, like they don't leave their desk at all. So I wondered, wow, if this one is creating any extra time that he has to go and do Uber, again it goes down now to the minimal wage. Are you paying people enough for them to feel at least comfortable, like their jobs can really sustain them? So I think it's also a challenge to employers to look beyond, you know, like it's not a problem with millennials, but what is it that we are not doing or can we do to accommodate this demographic?
Yeah, actually, that's a very interesting point. And I'll tell you for sure that being in this era, to me, is a blessing in disguise. Reason being, apart from that employer who wants to keep you from 8 to 5, there are many, many other opportunities. And remember, I talked about empowerment. Empowerment in the sense that there's now the entrepreneurial spirit that is really coming up. And the example that we've given really comes out well. That if you can have your Uber, or whatever you have, you know, you can do it on part-time. After work, collect a few coins. You are able to pay your bill.
Fridays when the party scene is just starting out.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting phenomena. And I think employers need to come to terms with this, that we've been in a staggering economy for quite a while.
Yeah.
If we have to change, if we want to experience a paradigm shift, we need to allow these people to use their energies well. Okay? Don't try to push them hard and say, you know, you can't get out. You know, so long as somebody is able to deliver.
Yeah.
If I come to your organization, like this is happening. I'll tell you, if you go to Korea, you go to the US. Like if you're working in a restaurant, you are given, 4 hours maximum.
Yeah.
You know what? If I work for 4 hours, I move from here, I can go to somewhere else, work for 4 hours, I'm paid, and I go away. And this is something that in Kenya we need to adopt. So that, first, it is an advantage to the millennials, because we are talking about high rate of unemployment. If you are giving somebody 4 hours to work, it implies you are giving another chance to someone else. So you are creating employment.
Yeah.
So that instead of just hiring one person, in a day you hire 3 people. Look at this model. This is a simple model that if Kenyan government could just come up with it. Yeah. And this can only come through a very good legislation. Yeah. A legislation that focuses, that we can actually come and amend the Labor Institution Act and all other acts that are related to employment. So at the end of the day, you don't have to stay at your employment for all those hours.
Yeah.
And this will give room for people to exercise their skills maximally. Because, for instance,
I like that concept.
For instance, there is talent and there is what you've learned in school.
Yeah.
If you are talented, you are a dancer. Okay, for example.
Yeah.
You go to your dance group for 4 hours. You make your content, you go out. And because you did catering in school, you go for 4 hours, work, yes. So you are mixing both your talent and what you've learned in school. So these are concepts that I wish that the policymakers can really take it up, so that we don't get half-baked and a society that is frustrated. Because one of the reasons that I didn't mention, the reason why millennials are shifting, is they feel they are not utilizing their right skills where they're working. Yeah. You know, you get a job today, maybe you've done IT, but you get a job in business development. Yeah. You won't stop doing it because you haven't done business development. You'll go for it.
Yeah, because you need the job.
Because you need the job.
Yeah.
Because you need to pay your bills.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this circumstance, someone will move until he gets what he has done in school. So if I've done IT and tomorrow I hear of a job which is IT oriented and here I've been doing something totally different, I'll still want to move. Yeah, I want to move.
And I like the concept that you talked about, because it is, and several studies have confirmed that Kenyan universities are producing half-baked students. Half-baked in the sense of they have the degrees, but they do not have the requisite technical skills to match their papers, and so most of the time when they end up in the marketplace, employers still have to invest so much in training them. So maybe the idea of having employees who will come in the workplace for a few hours, but you have a high turnover of employees, will actually be the missing part of that puzzle, where someone has time. Yes, you've left campus, but you're in this institution where you're still learning on the job, and you still have time to go out there and also acquire more skills that will make you a more rounded person in every way.
Yeah, thank you, Winnie. But I want to change this perception. This perception that universities are producing half-baked, I think it's something that I don't buy personally. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
You know, once you are above 18, you need to be sober.
Yeah.
You need to be sober in the sense that you need to make your choices right. When you get to the university, for example, you decide, I want to do this course. The university cannot give you all. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially in this digital era, I don't buy that stuff that universities are giving you half-baked. Once you've gone to class, for example, you've been taught this concept, it is now your responsibility. You know, the lecturer has already done his bit. You know, he's already earning.
Yeah.
Now it is you to challenge yourself every morning. That whatever been taught in class, how can I put this in practice? You know, so create a platform where you can start practicing when you are in first year, when you are in second year, when you are third year. Don't wait for the attachment, for the internship. You know, there's nothing much to learn. Like you have to get to work before you start learning. Learning in a process. I was challenging. I give motivational talks to the youth, and one of the things I keep telling them, that you want to be a doctor, when you join university, first, even before you join university, look for a doctor who is a role model.
Yeah.
Just go to his house or a house in the morning and tell him, today I want to see how you wake up, what you do as you prepare for work, accompany him to where he goes to work, spend the whole day with him, observe what he's doing. In the evening, come and file a report. And engage with yourself, ask yourself, do I really want to be a doctor based on what I've seen? If you want to be a journalist, just go and find another journalist. Tell him, I want to just work with you for 2 days. Yeah, wake up with him or her, go to his place of work, see when there are tear gas all over, is going to cover a story, then come and ask yourself, do I really want to do this in life?
Yeah.
The problem is we really delay in realizing what we want to do, only later to start saying, oh my,
I think I should change myself.
I want to change myself, you know, I went to the university, it's half-baked. No, no, I don't buy. Universities are giving the best, especially good universities for that matter. They are giving good content. It is now upon the millennials themselves, me being one of them, to challenge ourselves. What can we pick from what we've learned? After every semester, what can I pick from this? What is the practical skill? Yeah, and every time I interact with guys who are still in school, I ask them, which skill have you picked after the 2 weeks? If there's no skill, then you're wasting time. Just change your course and do something else.
And I agree with you, because I think we have this culture where, you know, you're in school for 4 years or 3 years, and then at that last semester, that's the time now you're running around trying to look for internship. Yeah, so I like what you have said, like people should strive, even right at the beginning, to equip themselves with the technical skills. Now, to the second bit of this conversation, you've mentioned that millennials, yes, they are changing jobs, but I like it that you've pointed out that it's not really for the wrong reasons. Most of it is for the right reasons. So for that person who is in that career where they feel they're in that organization and they feel this is not it for me, I feel a bit constricted and there's no room for growth here. So when someone is battling between moving that job to something else altogether, probably to another job or even to venture on a business, what are some of the things that they should look at before they take that step?
Thank you very much. There are so many things that somebody needs to look for when you're looking for a new job. And number one, it is first to ask yourself, where do I want to be? Like you go back to your vision. Will the place that I'm moving to, does it contribute in achieving my vision or not? So once you are able to answer that question, now you look at how is the environment there. For example, if you are looking for career growth, is the new employer able to help me to grow in my career? And growing, is there room for training? Because you can't grow unless you are going for training every now and then. So you do a background check, maybe check the website, check where their policy system, just to find out, is there room for growth?
Yeah.
And also, you also need to look at the rate of turnout or turnover. Like, is this an organization where people have been moving in and out frequently? You know, those are red signs.
Yeah.
If you get to an organization and you hear every now and then there's an advert, like they're advertising for new position, you want to ask yourself, oh, really? Is it the right place for me to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you get an employer where employees are leaving every now and then, it implies there are things that are not right. So you need to check, do your background check, see exactly if this employer is the kind of that will really help you to grow. And then most importantly is, example, if you want to venture into business, because people change jobs not specifically to get a new employer, but those who want to get into business consultancy, like myself. Ask yourself, what are the core skills that you have that will make you want to be independent from an employer? Because again, then rate those skills. What is the turnaround into money?
Yeah, true.
Can I turn around these skills into money as quick as I want? Because again, you know, capital is a very sensitive thing. It only goes to places where it feels safe. So don't imagine that you start private business, people will come and sponsor you. People want to see, if we have to put money, if we have to entrust this guy with his money, is it safe?
What's the value?
What is the value addition? If there's no value addition, then no one wants to entrust you with money. Because, you know, guys are leaving jobs to start private business with the aim that, oh, I'll have partners on board, I'll go places and get sponsors. Before you make that step, just do personal reflection. Ask yourself, make a skill list. Take number one, I'm an editor. Look at how much editors are making. I'm a graphic designer. Look at how much a graphic designer makes every day. A cinematographer. Okay, how much content is needed, for example, in Kenya? If I'm just a cinematographer, how much will I need even to start my own film production company, for example? So once you've done all the skill check, you have a checklist, and then you have the courage to move. If not, then, you know, this economy can only grow with people who are creating wealth. You can't share poverty, but you can share wealth. So if you're in the business where you are there and there's no money that you're making, then there's nothing you're not going even to improve the economy of this country. So before you move, please just do those the basics. First, and I repeat, do a skills check of yourself. Do also a background check if you are still interested in employment. Do if there's a room for career growth. And I think that would be perfect. So having said all this, this is my parting shot, that for millennials specifically, that yes, you might have the talent, you might have the education, but that is not enough. You want to move from one job to another. One very important thing is get to have even coffee with a new person, like on a weekly basis. To know where you want to move next, you need to network. The word is network, network, network. Be interested in people. If you're not interested in people, you can't move jobs. You can't change jobs because you can't even know where a vacant position is existing. Thank you very much.
To the employers, I think you've had it loud and clear. The problem is not really about millennials being unstable and restless, I think you also have a role to create the right environment in the workplace for this generation of young people to thrive. Thank you very much, Dr. Situma, for joining us. That was quite an insightful conversation. Wow. I'm sure my readers are very much thrilled.
Delete readers, viewers. Okay.
And informed right now as much as I am. We're looking forward to host you soon again to have a conversation on personal social media branding, and especially because employers are looking into our social media platforms before they even hire us. Wow, wasn't that amazing? Like, that was quite insightful. Actually, before this particular interview, I've never looked at it the way we change jobs. I've never looked at it from that positive aspect, and I'm sure you guys have gathered so much from this particular interview. I would like to hear from you. What do you think about the sentiments shared here? If you are a millennial who's changed as much jobs in this past 1 year, please tell us what your experience was like, what motivated you to change, and what you're currently doing. Would like to hear from you. Please share that in the comment section below. And if there's also another conversation that you'd like Dr. Elliot to discuss, please also comment and we will definitely do that. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe by clicking on that red tab written subscribe. If you also like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really matters by clicking that, you see, that thumb. Yes, that counts as well. And share, let's have this conversation. The hashtag is voice. Bye.